Got another video review for you this week. Well, I got a catch can from J&L Oil Separators, and if you've never used a catch can, man, you need to get one. I know it's a lot of people just say that it's hype and all that, but they really do work. I've got a 2017 GMC Sierra right here. I run one of the largest GM truck groups on the internet called Silverado Sierra 2014 to 2018. I've got about 35,000 members in that group. And I reached out to J&L and I got a catch can years ago. And anyways, I've still got it installed on the truck, and I drained it a while ago. And so I wanted to show you guys what the oil looked like that come out of that catch can. And there's oil, contaminants, water, and I just wanted to show it to you. I poured it in this little paper bowl, and you can see when I move it around, you can tell that there's bubbles in it, and you can see right in there, that's water, because oil and water don't mix. And it's not been that long since I emptied this thing in my truck, probably a few thousand, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 miles. But you can see, I mean, look at all that water down in there. And at the very bottom of the catch can, it gets milky. It has like a watery, milky substance in it. And the reason you want to put a catch can on your vehicle is so that all this doesn't end up in the top part of your engine. You're in your valves, or going down into your intake and clogging up your engine. And plus it can reduce your octane rating on your fuel. So you don't want that because that would cause detonation. And if you wonder what detonation will do to a motor, Google it. Watch all the stuff that's on vehicles detonating. You can burn a hole in your piston or whatever. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and solve the problem by putting a catch can on here. And also, before I get too far involved, one other thing: a lot of you four-wheel drive guys that go on some of these pretty tough obstacle courses and things like that, when you start going up some steep hills, I've noticed that these Jeeps with the 3.6 engine in them start smoking really bad. And so this is one way to prevent that. If you're going up some really steep inclines, put your catch can on there. There's a lot of videos online about these catch cans. I'm not the only one preaching this, so check them out. So anyways, first things first, you can see right here, this is the way that it comes right out of the box. You've got your catch can. It's made out of aluminum. It's got the knurled part here on the bottom, so it's easy to grab onto and open it up. And it's got a lot of threads on it, so it can tighten up real easy. And it's pretty thick. You can tell that it's solid made. It's got the filter element right in there. And so what you want to do is go ahead and start off by pulling the top cover off your engine. I'm going to show you how to install it. It'll literally take just maybe 5 to 10 minutes to install it. But you go ahead and 10 millimeter bolt there, 10 millimeter bolt there. Then come over here and remove the 10 millimeter bolt there. And for you guys that's running the shocks for your hood, it's not going to interfere. It's this one right here. It's not these bolts right in here. And then I would go ahead and loosen up these two bolts right here. There's one there and there's one there, and that holds your coolant reservoir on, because we're going to be running the hose behind this reservoir. And there's really no way to run that hose by just putting it back there. There's just not enough room. I've seen some of the videos, and I've seen other people taking this off, and I'm like, well, why couldn't you just run it behind there? Well, you actually have to take it off and just run it behind there. It takes 2 seconds to pull these bolts out. And so I'm just gonna run through it, and I'm gonna show you where to connect it to. And literally, like I said, a 5-10 minute install. Stay tuned. So, it does come with some good directions. It comes with this sheet right here. And what you do is you scan it with your phone. And once you scan it, I have it already pulled up right here. And when you scan it, it pops up and it has a video showing you how to install it step by step.
Okay, and that's it. Realistically, it's about a 10-15 minute job.
And it shows you step by step, and you know, you couldn't ask for a better installation than this video. Shows you everything. All right, so once you pull your two 10mm bolts out of each side, pick up, pull forward, and it slides out of those two grommets right there. You just set this aside. So next, right here, you can see there's a little holder holding that hose, that little hard hose. And I'm gonna take a little trim removal tool. I'm just gonna pop that loose right there. And then next, I'm gonna go down here in the back and I'm gonna disconnect it. All right guys, so the next part, what you wanna do is go ahead and lean your hood back against your windshield so you'll have clearance to get over the passenger side part of the fender here. You probably wanna get you a little step stool, make it a lot easier. And because you're gonna have to get right here to one of the lines back there. And I'll go ahead and show you, since it's gonna be hard for me to show you at that angle, but this is pretty much the same way that this works. You've got the lines right here out of the catch can. They work in the same way. And you can see right there, there's a little clip where it says push on it right there. When you push with your finger right there, you can see that clip opens up. Check this out. When you push, you can see how it opens up on the inside and it expands. And you can see right here on the bottom, when I push, you can see it flares open. And that's what you're gonna do down there. It's just gonna be hard for me to video it and show it to you guys. So that's why I'm showing you right here. But where you're gonna be going to is the back part of the valve cover. This hose runs back and around down through there, and you're just gonna unplug it. All right, so you guys are probably not gonna be able to see this, but I'm gonna reach back here, mash the tab in with my index finger, and see I've gotten it loose already. All right, so I showed you guys on the other side where I took the hose loose. I'm up here on the driver's side, and I'm gonna show you how to take the hose loose from the intake there. And again, it's the same way. You mash down, and on that tab right there, when you mash down, it opens up, and when you mash down, you pull out, and then it just comes loose, just like that. It's very simple. I mean, very, very simple. And then I want to go ahead and pull this tube out. It's kind of weaved in some hoses back in there, so I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this tube. So as you can see, this is what that hose looks like. It's a hard hose, and you know, after you fish it out of the motor back there, that's what it's going to look like. So now we're going to move on to the next step. Now I gotta say, this wasn't bad at all to get out. It took me a couple minutes to move it around, back around the other hoses and stuff down in there, but it wasn't bad. So now I'm just gonna take an impact with a 10mm on there, and I'm gonna remove these two nuts here on top. And once I remove those two, now I can go ahead and lift up on this coolant reservoir and run my hose behind it. Now before I go ahead and run my hose behind that coolant tank, I'm gonna go ahead and mount the catch can first, so that way I know how much hose to go behind there, and I'm not trying to guess at it. So when you get the catch can, it comes with this aluminum bracket. It looks like it's anodized. It looks pretty sharp. It's got all the etching on there, and it says J&L. Got all their information on it. And then you just want to take it, and they give you some supplied Phillips bolts to go into it. And I'll go back in a minute and tighten it up real good. And then right in here, I took the factory bolt out of this. Well, they give you another bolt to go in its place, and this one's a little bit longer. Now, if you're wondering where this mounts up, like I showed you, it's right across from your master cylinder. So if you just look straight across, there's your master cylinder cap, and you can see that this bracket has like a little 90-degree bend in it, so it clears these lines right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and get it threaded in a little bit right there. So I went ahead and tightened up that number 10 bolt right there, and then I'm just going to go back right here and tighten up the bracket with just a Phillips head screwdriver. And then now if you want to get in here to unscrew it, you know, there's plenty of enough room right there for you to unscrew that with your hand. Now you can twist it and move it whichever best way is for you, but you know, it does move back and forth, you know, so you can get your hand in there, you know, even with big hands like I've got. So makes it pretty easy to get to it, because you are going to have to empty this thing about every time you do an oil change on it. I'd go ahead and empty it out, but I would check it before your oil change just to see if it's full or not. I know it's just one more thing to have to do as far as maintenance, but you know, if it prolongs the life of your motor and keeps your motor running good, it's worth it. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and lift the reservoir up, slide that hose behind there, and go ahead and get everything buttoned up. We're almost done, guys. So as you can see, I've got the hose running behind the coolant reservoir, and you can see right in here, if you'll come over on this other side, you'll see that it runs perfectly. There's just enough room for a hose to go back in there, and it's not going to rub on anything. And you can see right in there, it's a perfect hole just for that hose to run down through. And it goes out the other side, and I'm going to go over there and plug it up. So yeah, I gotta say the fitment on that's pretty cool. Now as far as hooking into your intake right here, you're going to take and run this hose just like this, and you're just going to clip it in, and you heard it click. It just pushes right in. I mean, there's nothing to it. And you know, I've got this secured, and once I plug it in on the other side and put the engine cover, we're done. So you can see right down in there, I went ahead and just pushed it down in there, and it clicked. And literally, this is no joke. I mean, I told you guys at the very beginning of the video that this was like a 10-minute install, and literally it is. If you're a mechanic, a full-time mechanic doing this every day and working on these all the time, you can probably do it in 5 minutes. Literally, it's very quick. And so I've got it all installed, and I'm gonna put the engine cover back on. I'm gonna start it up and see if it throws an engine code or any of that, and we're gonna take it for a ride down the road and see if anything crazy happens. It shouldn't, but I just wanted to show you guys. So I got everything buttoned up. I just wanted to tell you it comes with a sticker, and I'm fixing to start the vehicle for the first time. You can see my hands touching the alternator there. I mean, the engine's cold. It's been sitting here for several hours. And anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and button the hood up. And let's go for a ride. Hop in. All right, so here we go. Don't see any check engine codes or any of that, so that's a good sign. And it shouldn't throw any. I mean, there's really no reason why it would. But anyways, just wanted to show you guys. Let's drive it a little ways and see. Now, on this video, I'm not going to be able to show how much oil it catches, because like I said, this was just an install video. All right guys, so we've taken the vehicle down the road several miles, and you know, it's didn't throw any kind of engine codes or any of that. And so, you know, I'm very pleased with the installation. It was very simple to install. Like I said, 10-minute install, 15 at the max. And you know, all you really need is just a 10mm socket and ratchet or impact, whatever you have, and you know, just basic hand tools and a Phillips head screwdriver. I did use a little pry tool, so if you have a flat screwdriver or a little plastic pry tool to pry one of the clips out, then that might be helpful to you. But literally just simple hand tools and it's done. So I'm excited to see how much contaminants and water and oil this catch can is able to catch. And so we've got a trip to North Carolina here next week, and so we're going to drive it this week and drive it to North Carolina and back to Tennessee, and then probably drive it during the week, and then the following week I'll open the catch can for the first time and see what's inside of it with you guys, and I'll do a follow-up video, because I don't want to just tell you guys to install it and this thing's great and it's amazing, and you know, it's going to catch all these contaminants, and then in a few weeks there's nothing in there. And I truthfully wouldn't, you know, tell you guys and endorse J&L if I didn't believe in their product, and I didn't already have one on my GM truck. And so it's pretty amazing the amount of contaminants that thing catches, and you know, just keeps it from getting in your intake manifold and eventually making those valves dirty, and like I said, reducing the octane on your fuel. So anyways, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, so when that follow-up video comes out, you'll see it. And after it comes out, I'll link it to the end of this video, so whenever this one ends, you'll be able to see that one. But it's going to be, like I said, several weeks. So I appreciate you guys watching. Until next time, guys, have a good one.